Hello, everyone. Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gordon Chatterton. Gordon, this is kind of hard to believe, man, but we are heading into rivalry week for college football. The last week of the season, Thanksgiving's coming up. How you doing, man? You doing all right? Are you excited?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I'm kind of upset because I got work and I'm going to miss my game on Saturday. But I've made it. We talked about it a second ago. Made a few healthier choices. I'm starting to feel better. I got a little bit more energy. I guess that helps. But no, I'm upset that I got to work on that type of week that's easy for you to say and really hard for me to say. I keep sounding like Elmer Fudd when I'm saying, why would we weak?
It's a little tongue twister. And speaking of more energy, if you would like more energy, go to w.gg, use our promo code YELLING, and save 10% at checkout. Or use our link in the description. W. Be better. Grandpa's denture water is really good, though, by the way. Surprisingly. Doesn't sound like it would be, but Grandpa's denture water, highly recommended.
I'm going to have to try it. I haven't ordered any yet, but I'm going to have to because I hear you and Gage talking about a lot.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, you keep talking about it. I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to get some of that.
You're going to have to. So, man, last week there was some football that went on, I guess, apparently, allegedly. I really don't know. Ohio State had a game, right? Let's start with Ohio State, Gordon. How about Ohio State last week and their big win, dominant win over Rutgers once again? What was your thoughts on it? Didn't have Smith, didn't have Tate. I know you were kind of frustrated at the beginning of the game with just saying, but what do you think overall after it was over?
Well, as me and you talked about off screen, I still don't think he should be the Heisman front runner. I'm not saying he shouldn't make a trip to New York because he's inaccurate quite a bit without Smith. Anytime you got a receiver, it's kind of like it's like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson in college football. You get it anywhere near vicinity of them, and they're going to catch it. And Tate is by far, I think, one of the best deep threats in college football. I think he's proven it quite a few times. But with Smith on the other side, you can't double him. You can't go over the top because if you go over the top, Smith's one-on-one, he's going to smoke somebody. You got to pick your poison. But I will say this. I will commend him. He finally realized that he's got an All-American tight end that he can use, Matt Clare. He actually came from Purdue, and he was an All-American. Reports said that he switched to Ohio State so he could become a more rounded tight end when he goes to the NFL. Be a better blocker, in the run game and passing game, stuff like that.
It didn't have anything to do with Purdue just absolutely sucking. I don't know.
Well, I would say that would have at least 40. Well, he had to make it sound good.
But that's his professional answer. I get it.
Well, whenever he was at Purdue, I do believe that last year he was almost the only target. He was the only one that could get open. He couldn't learn how to block. And so now and also a shot at the national championship because we both know Purdue ain't even sniffing that. We knew at the beginning of the year they wasn't going to sniff it. I can't say I thought, but then again, there's a couple other teams I didn't think had a chance to sniff it, and they're damn well in it.
Yeah.
One of them we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, and they're actually playing Purdue. I didn't think I thought they might have made the playoffs, but I didn't think they was going to be like this.
No.
Because they are absolutely steamrolling, except for a couple teams that gave them a way better game than what should have had.
Yeah.
I think that was probably going to be corrected this week with their week off last week. But got to tie in. But what I'm really happy about is the run game.
Yeah.
It is going, and it is going good. Mm-hmm. Bo knows first downs, Bo knows touchdowns. Mr. Lamar Bo Jackson, that's a hell of a name, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter which thing you use.
Yeah, if you're going to have Lamar or Bo in football, I mean, you're named after some pretty good ones right there, I got to say.
Oh, yeah. And good runners, too. And obviously he is. And I know a couple weeks ago I said, why is Elijah West getting all these touches? Well, I found out he's actually really damn good.
Yeah, freshman. 48 yards last week.
Yeah, Bo's a freshman, too, but he just took off from day one. So
West he's gotten a little bit more opportunities, and he's made the most of the opportunities that he's got the last few weeks for sure.
I think they pushed C.J. Donaldson down the depth chart because he only had like 4 carries or something like that.
8 yards.
He got him a touchdown, but that was on goal line, and I think that was the first time I saw him.
Yeah. What was they doing with Keenholz? They kind of played him and Sayin. They kind of switched him back and forth a little bit there.
That's for what they was talking about, and I see it. They want to have him in there on packages where he's throwing the ball, so when he's in there, the opposition It's on tape. Now they just can't key on him running. They got to be aware of him passing the ball too. That's all that's for. It's just something to put on tape. But he can't throw the ball because a few games ago he went 5 for 5. I mean, he can't throw the ball.
Yeah, he's 1 for 3 for 19 yards this week. But like you said, he can throw the ball.
Oh yeah, but he sucked out loud last week. But I mean, he has been 3 for 3 and 5 for 5. I mean,
yeah.
But last week I think they set Smith and kept Tate down just so they'd be good and ready for next week or this Saturday coming.
You were a little upset too about Bo had a pretty bad fumble at the beginning. You said that's a bad fumble by Bo.
He got knocked out. He was carrying it away from his body, and he got peanut punched plumb out. That's why I said it was a bad fumble, and it's not only bad how it happened, it's where it was. It was within field goal range for the other team is when it happened.
Yeah.
Early in the drive. And that's anytime you put him in field goal range on a turnover, that's a bad turnover regardless. Even a bad field goal kicker, that was in range for him. It would have been like 39-yard field goal. And I think that's all they gave him was a field goal, but
yeah. Claire, you mentioned, had 105 yards receiving. Obviously Sayan's favorite target on Saturday by far and away.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the other guys he was overthrowing them and throwing dirt balls. Well, I mentioned one. I said, well, there's another dirt ball. I said, without Smith and Tate, I don't think his confidence is as high with his receivers. And it was even to Brandon Ennis.
Yeah.
The one that's been the number 3 all year. I mean, he's no number 1. I mean, he might be next year. I mean, Tate wasn't the number 1 last year, but he sure damn well is now.
Yeah, they got 2 number 1s over there right now.
Yeah, they got the 1s. They got 2 1s and a 3.
Yeah. Caden Curry, Steph's little brother, had 2 sacks on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, and his brother, Lorenzo, I'm talking about the Styles.
Styles brothers, yeah. AJ, yeah. Lorenzo, and Sonny.
Yeah. Lorenzo got hurt there on a kick return or something. I'm hoping he's okay because he's a hell of a defensive back. He's a hell of a good nickel.
Yeah. So, dominating again, beating Rutgers 42-9 in the big house. Just keep rolling. Got a big one coming up. We'll talk about in a little bit for sure this week.
Oh yeah, well, I can't wait to talk about Michigan.
There was another football game from one of our teams on this podcast. That would be my Kentucky Wildcats. They went to Nashville to face the Vanderbilt Commodores, and me and you both thought Kentucky can go down there and they could still win off of Vanderbilt. They sure can. No, we definitely misread that for sure. Diego Pavia senior night, and he went off, didn't he?
Oh, he exploded. 5 touchdown passes and what was it, 400? And I wrote it down.
484 yards, a Vanderbilt school record for passing in a game.
And I still feel bad. The guy I picked that I would like to see on my team, he got picked on so bad because that guy he was covering, I think, was 3 steps faster than him every 5 yards because he was way gone. That I felt bad. That is not the type of coverage he can do. But he was handcuffed. There was nothing else they could do. You told me they had a lot of injuries in the secondary. He was stuck on their number 1. He couldn't guard him.
No. And so Kentucky held the Vanderbilt team in check running wise. Pavia had 48 yards rushing, and then they had 8 yards, 7 yards, 4 yards, 0, -1, -1. But it didn't matter. They did not need to run the ball this game because their receivers, 59 yards, 115, 59, 48, 36, 32, 31, 20, 19, 12, 7, and 1 for a total of 539 yards receiving.
Oh, I tried the backup come in and threw a little bit.
Yeah, threw for 55 yards on top of that. 45-17. At Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt used to be the SEC doormat.
And Cutter Boley gets hurt, so we bring Zach Calzada back in, what you would order at the Italian restaurant down the street. And he's over here talking about Garrett, get your money right and all this and everything. And then he comes out and he throws a pick.
Yeah, he sucked out loud.
What a good investment Kentucky made for the quarterback situation this year in the offseason by paying that guy.
Yeah, me and you both we talked about this after his fumbled starts, and I say that because turnovers, I don't care if it's a pick or a fumble, it's fumbled one way or another. He's got 1 dart and he missed. It was just I call him calzone because he doesn't earn enough respect to call him by his actual name. That was horrible. I mean, there's level to atrocious, and I can't even put a number on how horrible that is. On a scale from 1 to 10, I think it'd be a 45. I'm not sure.
Kentucky just absolutely dominated from start to finish in this game. Seth McGowan only had 27 yards rushing. They couldn't get the run game going. They got a little bit of passing going, but they just give up too much on the other side of the ball. Every time Vanderbilt had the ball, seems like they scored. And they just kept scoring, kept showing Diego Pavia's mom in the crowd. Like every few seconds they'd show that. And then, Pavia scored a touchdown. And, I mean, he's put himself in New York next Saturday, I believe.
Oh, yeah, well.
Or Saturday after next. Sorry, 2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah, they do. They go there after the championship games, right?
Yeah, the Army-Navy game that night, they're there.
Okay, well, I said, I kind of got bored of that game, and I apologize. Normally, I try to watch all of it, but by the middle of the third quarter, I was like, I can't watch this no more.
When it's 45-3 going into the fourth quarter, yeah, I can see why people check out. There's no need to say that. And we'll talk about Kentucky's got a big game this week, but I'm going to say this once again. I've said this so many times. Last week, I think I said, well, maybe he's turned things around. We may want to give him hope. I'm back to the way I was before. This should be Mark Stoops' last season in Lexington as head coach. Gotta fire.
Win Saturday or not.
Win or lose, he's got to go. Gotta find a way to get that buyout done and over with because it's not happening in Lexington anymore.
I yell with you on that.
We haven't even went to yell or no yell yet, but yeah, that wasn't even one of my topics, but yeah.
Hey, early topic,
which we're going to hit that here in a second. Yeah, but yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what you say else about it.
Yeah, I've only got a couple topics, so this will be quick. So we got games to cover, so.
Yeah, so let's go on then. Let's get into it, Gordon, since we're right here, and we just did an impromptu yell or no yell. Let's do it right now. Yell or no yell. Gordon, I'll let you go ahead and get your first topic out for yell or no yell.
Okay, I believe that Chip Kelly made a huge mistake by leaving Ohio State and going to Raiders. Because now, don't get me wrong, I would be unemployed and make what he's making to sit on the couch. But he made a mistake leaving, and now he's got nowhere to go.
I'm going to yell with you on this. Obviously, that did not work out at all for him in Vegas. I don't know if it was him or if it was the players that they had around him, but something wasn't working there for sure. At all. I think he's probably wishing he was back in Columbus right about now because it's going a lot better there than it was in Vegas for sure.
Sad thing is Brian Hartline's calling a better offense than he did.
Yeah, Brian Hartline's not going to be the head coach or be the offensive coordinator there long either. I think he's going to be a head coach for too long somewhere.
Hopefully not in the Big Ten.
Yeah, maybe he'll come to Kentucky. His brother played at Kentucky, so there's a connection there.
And I would be okay with that because Kentucky and Ohio State never play each other.
No.
Unless they ever get to like a bowl game, they would never meet each other. So I'd be good with that. Yeah. I'd be good to, give you one of my good offensive coaches.
Yeah, I would take it. So I was just going to say my first yell or no yell topic. Texas A&M's unbeaten streak will end. I know we're going to get into picks in a little bit, but it's going to end this Saturday in Austin. And the Longhorns will, throw the committee into a tizzy at this point in time. And then the SEC is going to be like spinning around. I don't know because they're going to throw a wrench into everybody's game plan this week. Texas A&M goes down to the rivals, the Longhorns, in Austin.
I got that game marked down. You'll hear my thing. But I'm pretty much going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm going to yell with you. Texas has 3 losses. They have nothing to lose. If they lose, they're still got a bowl game, probably the same bowl game. Yep. But if they win, they're more than likely going to be in the college football playoff. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain. They're going to go balls to the wall. And a team that has nothing to lose is hard to fucking play against.
And dangerous.
Especially a team with talent like that. Yep. I'm not saying Arch Manning, but I'm saying their receivers and their defense, they got a lot of talent.
So. Yeah, they got talent. And Arch Manning's got talent too. He just hasn't showcased a lot of it yet. I mean, he's got talent. He's a Manning. He's got some talent somewhere.
Oh, yeah, it's somewhere, probably in his pinky toe somewhere. But anyways, he might pull it up.
So your next yell or no yell topic.
Next yell or no yell topic. They was talking about the next Penn State head coach. They haven't said it's official yet, but there is a rumor that Brian Daboll is going to be is being interviewed as the next head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. I think that is. Some people say it's a genius. It would be a genius hire. I disagree. I think it would be a travesty against Penn State because I don't think he is a head coach. I think he is an offensive coordinator. Period.
I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell with you on this because excellent offensive coordinator. He had the Bills that, when Josh Allen, he kind of helped develop Josh Allen a little bit with the Buffalo Bills. He was on the Alabama staff there when they were starting to get things going offensively and Saban started changing things under Lane Kiffin. I don't think he's a head coach. He didn't prove it in New York. His one good season, Saquon was healthy. Daniel Jones was playing great because Saquon was healthy. I'm with you. I don't think if you thought James Franklin was bad at Penn State, I think it's going to be a little bit worse if you bring Brian Daboll in. You couldn't win the big game before. What makes you think you're going to win the big game with Brian Daboll? The guy hasn't won any big games so far as the head coach. I'm going to yell with you here. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. His record speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. I mean, if he doesn't, and they lost their big recruit, is going to Virginia Tech and following James Franklin there. A lot of their big recruits, running backs, all that stuff is not going there because Franklin's gone. Some of them going to Ohio State, some's going to some other places, but a lot of them are going to Virginia Tech. They're following James Franklin there. They're not going to have the recruiting class that they thought they was going to have. So it's not going to be it's not going to be peaches and cream for a few years if he goes there.
No, it's not. So my next y'all topic, and let's go ahead and stay with coaches leaving, maybe not leaving, possibly leaving. Lane Kiffin could cost Ole Miss a shot at the playoff by the news coming out of him going to LSU or him going to Florida. He might not have his team ready. He might not be fully invested in this game coming up, but Lane Kiffin, I believe, his team's not going to be focused. That locker room may be in, some turmoil going on there. I mean, if you're playing for your coach, you're all supposed to be, you're all in the playoff hunt right now. You're sitting in the playoffs. One loss on the season, but your coach has one foot out the door. Do you really want to play for that guy who's going to be going somewhere else next year? I don't know. I think that this news coming out about Lane Kiffin going to LSU or Florida, I think LSU's been the big one, $90 million or whatever it is. I think that right there is going to be more hurtful to the Ole Miss team than it is anything else. And I think that he seems like he's not fully invested in his Ole Miss team.
No, I agree. I think the players will still play because regardless, if they don't want to be there, they got to put on good tape so they can get NIL money from other schools if they want to leave. Yeah. So I think they're still going to play, but you're right. There's some things the game plan might be crappy, but the players are going to play hard because, like I said, if they're not going to stay there, it's good tape for the NFL draft for the seniors and the juniors that are going to go out, and for the freshmen and sophomores that will be playing, or if the juniors, if they're going to stay, if they're going to take NIL money to go to another school to play for a championship. It gives good tape because if you put a one bad game because of something bad that happens, you're risking cash. You don't do that. You don't put your future in jeopardy just because you're aggravated.
Yeah, it's just it's bad timing altogether. And I don't understand the fascination with Lane Kiffin. I get it. He's took Ole Miss to pretty good records the last few years. He wasn't great at USC. He wasn't great at Tennessee. He wasn't great when he coached the Raiders. He was good, but I don't know if he's worth everybody going crazy over to try to hire him in the SEC like a big program like LSU. Now, maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe when Saban hired him back to be offensive coordinator at Alabama, maybe that revitalized his career. I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know, man. $90 million for Lane Kiffin seems kind of sketchy to me. Risky.
It seems steep.
Yeah, steep.
Because he really had, good records, but really good records. Don't get me wrong. 10-1 in the SEC is an impressive record.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
and had Georgia beat in the game they lost.
Yeah, but as far as what has he done
overall,
he's not won an SEC championship. He's not won. Of course, he's not won the national championship. He's got no chips except for as Nick Saban's assistant.
Yep.
Only chip he's got was as assistant coach. Until you do it as a head coach, you've earned no chips.
Now he puts a fun product out on the field for sure. But fun only goes so far at an LSU. If you go when you put on fun product, they're going to like it. But you come back with 2 to 3 losses and you're not making the playoffs, they're going to chew you up and spit you out down there because they're expecting to be in the playoffs. And they haven't been back since 2020. And Joe Burrow and the Cookie Monster coaching them.
Yeah, but you got to say, man, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Terrence Marshall, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
That was an offensive juggernaut
for college.
And also, Randy Moss's son is the tight end.
Thaddeus
Moss. Yeah. You wasn't touching that team.
No, you wasn't. What do you got next for Yell or No Yell, Gordon?
I only had 2. So.
Oh, you only got 2. All right. Well, my next one, I've got one more left here, and then we'll go on to our games. Speaking of Joe Burrow's back. He's playing Thanksgiving night. Tell me that the NFL doesn't have something to do with Joe Burrow playing tomorrow night because it's Thanksgiving. It's a big primetime game. They can't flex out of it. So what else can they do? The Bengals are 3-8. They couldn't, have a winning record, make it competitive coming into the game. What can we do? Oh, yeah, let's get Joe Burrow back out there right now so he can play in this game on Thanksgiving when the Bengals should just let him sit the rest of the year because the rest of the year does not matter. The NFL's got something to do with this decision about Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they probably gave the owners and them a little bit of incentive to let him go ahead and play. Yeah, Joe, 10 good toes Burrow, finally again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had 9 for a while, but now he's got 10 good toes.
Yeah, old Toe Burrow.
Yeah. Joe, the good toes Burrow. Yeah, he should have sat because, will he make the game interesting and kind of fun? Yeah. But is he going through a hellacious risk? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We talked about this last week. If you're going to play, he should at least sit out at least one more week. Give his foot good time, an extra week to heal. But it's prime time and Sunday. It's on Peacock. I bet them and the NFL had something to do with it because their ratings would have sucked. If it wasn't Joe Burrow playing, the ratings would have sucked because everyone would know it'd be completely one-sided.
Yeah, because last week even Joe Flacco went out of the game and Jake Browning came in for a play. So nobody in America wanted to see Jake Browning and Lamar Jackson in that game. So I think the NFL had a little something to do with it, unfortunately, because I've already written this season off for the Bengals. So I just want Burrow to get healthy, stay healthy, and come back next year and try again.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he should have played. I think he should have sat out. They should let just Joe Flacco or Jake Browning, either one, just finish out the season.
Like Sean Clifford.
Sean Clifford?
Yeah, they cut him, though, this past week when they brought Burrow back.
He was our backup for a while. Then he was our third string. Then he was our practice squad.
Well, that'll do it here for Yell or No Yell segment. So, Gordon, why don't we go ahead now? Why don't we get started? Because we've got a lot of games going on. Feast week, rivalry week, whatever you want to call it.
Easy for you to say.
We're here for the last week of the regular season of college football. It's kind of sad. It's sad, but also exciting as well because we're going to get some good football, hopefully. Let's start off on Friday. Number 7 Ole Miss travels to Starkville to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs in the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss is a 7.5-point favorite. We've done mentioned some stuff about Lane Kiffin. And is he staying? Should he stay or should he go now? Gordon, what do you think about this game?
Well, like we talked about, I think the players are going to come out and they're going to give it everything they have. Like I said, because if they're not going to stay, if Lane Kiffin does go, they got to put on good tape. If they're going to go to the NFL draft or if they want to go to a different team, if they put garbage on, they might as well just stay there and not even try to get drafted unless they're seniors because their draft stock is going to drop like a hot lead balloon over water, sink straight to the ground. And same thing if they go to. So yeah, but the play calling is what's going to show it. If it looks like it's well executed, Lane Kiffin may be more in than what we're thinking. But I'm still going to take because I've watched a couple Mississippi State games, home or away. Most of the time they're not on, and when they're not on, it's like watching two drunk bums bump into the wall. It's not fun. I got Ole Miss, and because it's a rivalry, you really don't want to say cover or not because it's hard telling. because they could play like complete garbage and still play better. It's good enough to keep it close. But I got Ole Miss winning this one.
So here's some incentive for Mississippi State. They're 5-6. They win this game over their rival. They go to a bowl game for the first time in a few years. That would be huge for that program. They started off the season 4-0. They beat Arizona State at Starkville in a game where they kind of dominated Arizona State, and we thought, wait a minute, hold up, Mississippi State may be something this year. It turns out they probably wasn't. But Ole Miss, there's some question marks over there with Lane Kiffin, the head coach. Does he stay? Does he go? Like you said, the players are still going to play for Lane Kiffin. I think that Ole Miss is more talented than Mississippi State does. This is a rivalry game. Mississippi State's got a lot to play for. But on the other foot, Ole Miss also has a lot to play for. They win, they're in the college football playoff. Mississippi State wins, they get a bowl game. Which way do you go here? This is a home field advantage. You're going to have those stupid cowbells out ready to go. But Ole Miss will be ready for them. They play them every other year, I guess they go to Mississippi State. I like Ole Miss to win this game. But I'm with you on the covering part. I mean, you really can't say. But I'm going to say that Mississippi State covers. Ole Miss wins by about a touchdown. And there's going to be more questions than answers after this game with Lane Kiffin, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. If he goes to college football playoff, then the noise is going to get louder.
Yeah. Our next matchup on Friday, number 13, Utah travels to Lawrence to face the Kansas Jayhawks. Utah's a 10.5-point favorite. Gordon, what do you think here? This doesn't really seem like a natural rivalry to me here, but I think, this should be a decent game.
It should be a pretty good game. Utah is better than a 10.5-point favorite over Kansas. I think just because it's in Kansas.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the game they should have had in the season, I think they had earlier, Kansas, Missouri at the end of the year, the border war. They should have kept that one there. But Utah is good enough to beat them even in Kansas. Something's went wrong with Kansas. They was really good in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Just like the damn cowbell team, and they just dropped off. They just dropped. So give me Utah, and on this one, I would take a cover.
Jalen Daniels was a early season Heisman Trophy candidate for Kansas and has not lived up to that hype whatsoever at all this year. Like you said, Kansas started out pretty good. You're thinking, hey, they may be something. And then they're 5-6 right now. They need a win to get into a bowl game, just to make a bowl game. Utah needs a win to stay alive with their playoff hopes. I like Utah to win this game. I think Utah covers too. They could play this game, in the moon. And I think Utah would still win the game and cover because Kansas they're not the same team they were at the beginning of the year. And Jalen Daniels has really hurt his stock in the NFL. Some people had him as a top 5 quarterback in the draft at the beginning of the year, and I don't think he's anywhere in there. I don't think he gets drafted at this point in time. So give me the Utah Utes to win and to cover on the road. But for now, let's go on and let's look at the next matchup. The number 4 Georgia Bulldogs travel to Atlanta to face the number 23 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. The Bulldogs are a 13.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, what do we think here?
Once again, Georgia Tech really let me down last week. I mean, really bad. I thought they would win that game comfortably, and they didn't at all. But Georgia is my pick to win the SEC championship, so they can't lose. They've got way more to play for than Georgia Tech. They're playing for the SEC championship game because they have to win to stay in it. So give me Georgia, and they probably will cover, but because it's an in-state rivalry, I would never say that because Georgia Tech's not terrible all the time, just selective weeks. So give me Georgia. I want to take Georgia to win.
Going back to our last game real quick, looked it up. Jalen Daniels is a senior, so this is his last game at Kansas if they lose. Georgia, number 4, making the college football playoff. They're, like you said, SEC championship game next week. Georgia Tech lost last week to Pittsburgh. Got beat down. Wasn't even close. I mean, they kind of made it close towards the end, with the score, but it really wasn't a close game. Pittsburgh dominated this team. Georgia Tech, the last few weeks, have not played very well at all. I don't know if they were just not playing too many good teams at the beginning of the year, and they finally played some teams, and they lost some things. I don't know. But Georgia coming on the road here, there's always some funny things happening in this rivalry game. Like Georgia Tech has played Georgia close before, in this game when Georgia Tech wasn't as good and Georgia was dominant. I think Georgia wins this game. And I think Georgia Tech covers this spread here. I think Georgia wins this game, and I think Georgia Tech covers because it's a rivalry game. And, I think that these games kind of get weird with these two teams. So give me Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia win, Georgia Tech cover. Give me a second to find the next game because that totally threw me completely off.
Indiana, Purdue, wasn't it?
That's it. I just had to scroll down to it.
Okay.
The next matchup, number 2, the Indiana Hoosiers travel to West Lafayette to face the Purdue Boilermakers. Indiana is a 28.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, what do we think here?
I know this is a rivalry game, and I know Indiana's been kind of lackluster the past couple weeks. 1 week they was lackluster. 1 week it just took them a while to get their gears going. Game against Penn State, it was lackluster. But they had the week off last week. And I do believe Elisha Surratt is coming back this week. I don't see a slow takeoff this week. They're too good. Purdue is not. I mean, right now the way Purdue plays, I don't think they could beat a Division III school. To be honest with you, they could, but they'd look like garbage. So give me Indiana, and believe it or not, I'm taking them to cover by far.
I'm with you here. Indiana's going to win this game. They're coming off of a bye. They're going to blow Purdue out. Purdue, they're 2-9. They are not playing for anything at this point except for pride, and I don't think they have much pride left in them. I've got Indiana winning this game, and I've got Indiana cruising to the Big Ten championship game next week for a showdown with your Ohio State Buckeyes, Gordon.
My team has to win their game, but we'll talk about that one here in a little bit.
We'll get to it here in just a second. The next matchup we've got, this one here, we talked about it a while ago. Number 3, Texas A&M Aggies travel to Austin to face the Texas Longhorns. Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, so if I'm correct in this before you make your pick here, so far, every team, the road team, has been the favorites in these games. Gordon, what do you think about this matchup?
This one is, when I looked at it earlier, I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, man, there's just something about this game. And then you brought it up in the beginning. I got the home dogs. I got Texas. They have nothing to lose, everything to gain. They're going to get a bowl game regardless. If they lose, they still got a bowl game. If they win, they're going to a bigger bowl game. But they have an opportunity that if they take off Texas A&M, which, beating an in-state rival is just icing on the cake. They're spoiling their party right then and there. So with 3 losses, they have to win to even have a consideration. But they'd be the first 3-loss team ever, I do believe, to go into the college football playoff. I think there's 2-loss teams. I don't know if there was ever a 3-loss team. I could be wrong. Don't mark my words on that.
Yeah, last year was the first year of the 12 team, but I think they all had 2 losses or less. But yeah,
I know my team did. They had 2 losses, and they won it all.
Tennessee had 2 losses,
and we whooped their ass.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Believe me, I was just as happy with it as you was. But Texas, if they win, the committee is going to be. They'll have a 3-week meeting on whether or not to put Texas in if they knock off Texas A&M, which I think would be fun for the debate on TV. Me and you talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good material. Help us out, Texas. They got a lot of talent. Like I said, I got the home dogs upsetting Texas A&M.
And as I mentioned earlier in the Yell or No Yell segment, this is one of my Yell or No Yells. Texas A&M has flirted with disaster at least a couple of weeks ago at South Carolina. They should have lost that game. They didn't. They came back. They won. That's what some people will say championship teams do. Okay. We started to believe in Texas A&M. And that game happened, and I all of a sudden didn't really believe in Texas A&M after that. Texas, on the other hand, like you said, they've got all the talent in the world. They've got the running backs. They got the receivers. They got the defense. They got a quarterback. He's a Manning, at least. But, I mean, what's Toby Keith say? I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm good once as I ever was. Maybe Arch can come up and be as good as he was in high school when he was this big, huge recruit.
Yeah.
Everybody was wanting him. I think Texas gets the win at home, and I think we start the debate. Do we let a 3-loss Texas team in or not? Maybe they should get in over Tulane. I think so, personally, because group of 5 teams, whatever, at this point in time, I don't think any group of 5 team deserves to be in there this year. And just let the debate begin after that. And Texas A&M, they fall. Their first loss of the year. Give me the Longhorns in there. Hook 'em. The final Friday matchup that we're going to talk about. Yeah, all these games are on Black Friday. We got the number 25 Arizona State. No, Arizona Wildcats traveling to face the Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona, once again, the road team is the favorites in this one. Gordon, what do we think about this matchup between the what state? What state is that? State? No, it's not Sunflowers. Whatever state it is, the desert people out there.
Well, I talked about this just about every week we've done this. There's one team I don't go against, especially when they're at home, and that's Arizona State. You do every time I did last year, they chewed me up. And sometimes when I went against them on the road, they chewed me up. I mean, yeah, they had Cam Scatta Boo Boo.
Yep.
But man, he was a bowling ball last year, just bouncing off people, running them over. Experiment 626. Yeah. Anyways, but I like Arizona State. It's only 1.5 point. I mean, dog, but I think they'll win straight up. I think they're better in Arizona.
I'm going to go against you in this one, actually. I don't think Arizona State is as good as they was last year. Like I said, they had that loss earlier in the season to Mississippi State. They don't have Cam Scattaboo, which is a big difference. Sam Levitt hasn't looked as good as he was last season for the most part this season. Arizona, on the other hand, they're coming along pretty nicely these last few weeks. They blew out what we thought was a decent Baylor team. They beat what we thought was a decent Cincinnati team the week before that. Their only losses this year, they lost to BYU by a few points. They lost to Houston by a field goal. And they lost to Iowa State. But they've won their last 5 games. They blew out Colorado, which, I mean, I guess isn't saying much this year. But I like Arizona to win this game on the road in the rivalry. Give me an Arizona State win. Give me an Arizona win at Arizona State, and give me an Arizona cover in this matchup.
So I just don't go against Arizona State at home. It's just, to me, it's like bad juju.
Smith-Schuster. So the next matchup we've got, and we're going to Saturday now, Gordon, and let's go ahead and let's talk about the first game on Saturday's slate. Saturday, the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes travel up to Ann Arbor to face the number 15 Michigan Wolverines. Ohio State is a 9.5 point favorite on the road. The road favorite again, Gordon. Gordon, I don't even know if I'm going to ask you who you've got in this game. Why don't you just go ahead and just rant a little bit about Ohio State and Michigan, the game.
Yeah, you know who I'm taking. Okay, last year we shouldn't have lost. Year before that, maybe they did have a better defense than they did this year and the year before. I'm going to say last year we shouldn't have lost. It was just terrible play calling, and that was Chip Kelly, so I'm kind of glad he's gone because when we play that team, he wants to show that he can develop a run game that can run on them. And you ain't going to run on them, not through the middle, because that's what they kept trying to do. It's like banging your head against the wall and expecting not to have a concussion. But, and of course, you know, the sign stealing thing from a few years ago, C.J. Stroud's last year. No, I can't even say the letter that starts with the team up north's name. I got Michigan going down. Ohio State, they should win comfortably. But something tells me it's not going to. It's going to come down to the end. But hopefully they don't lose faith in Jeremiah Smith and throw it. If they keep getting defensive pass interference because they can't guard him, and we both know they can't, keep taking the penalties, keep taking the free 15 yards, move up to the field. Eventually they're going to quit tugging on him, and he's going to catch one. And Tate, they can't cover him. I don't think they can keep up with him. And now he knows where the security blanket is. The tight end over the middle. Tight end is the quarterback's best friend. Use him like he did last week. This was the first week he actually used him. Last week was. So, okay, there's my little rant. I'm done for now.
With you here, I think Ohio State wins. I think Ohio State wins comfortably. Michigan, just not the same team as they have been. I mean, I haven't even really paid much attention to a Michigan game this year because they haven't been relevant enough, I don't think. Number 15 in the land, they still got a shot at the playoffs. I mean, they're 9-2. It's not going to happen. The streak ends this week. Ohio State wins, and Ohio State wins convincingly in my mind in this game.
Yeah, if the team up north does it again, do you know that they are in the Big Ten championship game?
Wow.
Because they would have one loss in the Big Ten. Ohio State would have one loss in the Big Ten.
Get the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
That's what I heard, and I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
I got Ohio State winning, though, so I don't think you got much to worry about. The next matchup, we go to the ACC, and does either one of these teams want to win the ACC? Come on down. Number 12, Miami, travels to number 22, Pittsburgh. Miami is a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, do we go with Gage's team here, or are we believing in Miami again, or does anybody want to win the ACC? I know SMU's on here. Virginia's got a shot. We're not picking any one of them games because they're not playing any competitive ball this week. What do we think about this?
I don't know who you're going to pick. I was kind of hoping we don't go the same way because I don't want to jinx Gage because I want him to think like that. But I can't help it. I got a feeling the way if Pittsburgh plays the way they did last week, they can blow Miami plumb out of the water. Problem is will they play that way next week? They're playing Miami. They're playing a team in the ACC that is playing for the championship just like they are. They should come out and they should play with their hair on fire and their balls in a scrunchie and just go right at it. I am taking the home dogs, the Panthers.
Man, so this is what worries me about the Panthers. Last week, they beat a Georgia Tech team. Georgia Tech, maybe they're overrated. We could probably agree on that. They're overrated at this point in time.
Yeah.
The week before, they had a huge game. They had College Game Day come in. They faced Notre Dame. Notre Dame took it to them. I mean, absolutely destroyed them. Then we may have figured maybe Notre Dame may have been a little underrated. I think after the first couple of games of the year, Miami actually beat that Notre Dame team. I think we could agree, though, Notre Dame's probably a little underrated compared to what everybody thinks about. Miami, I mean, what do you say about Miami? Started off pretty good, and then Carson Beck pretty good in the middle of the season. Now they may be finally getting back on track a little bit. They're going on the road at Pittsburgh. This is a huge game. It worries me that Pittsburgh may kind of get a little scared of the opponent. Maybe the moment's too big for them, kind of like it was against Notre Dame. But I think Miami wins this game. I got Miami winning, and I got them covering by a touchdown. Sorry, Gage.
All right, so, okay, good. Now we split up. Now at least one of us will be right.
Yeah, and at least it's not, the graphic on game day where we're all picking Pittsburgh and then, they snap a picture and be like, oh, these idiots, So our next matchup, we go to the Pac-12. Just kidding. It's the Big Ten. Number 6 Oregon Ducks travel to Seattle to face the Washington Huskies. Oregon's a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, what do we think here?
That is the thing. Road favorites. That is the theme of this show, obviously. I don't think this is going to be much of a contest whatsoever. I think this is going to be a total wash, blowout. I think if Oregon will probably score 21 points in the first quarter, and then they wouldn't have to score another one, and would probably still win by at least 14. Washington hasn't showed me anything. I mean, they got absolutely obliterated by Ohio State, and I know that's Ohio State, but and then they turn around, and then later on they got beat by Wisconsin.
When they were ranked.
They
finally got ranked and then lose to Wisconsin.
Right. I mean, so, no, like I said, that week, Luke Fickell is a great defensive coach. He's not a good head coach. He's a good defensive coach no matter what division he's in. Head coach, no. But they need to change the conference from the Big 10 to the Big 16. There's too many damn teams called the Big 10. Okay, that being said, give me Oregon and give me a multiplier by 3 cover.
I like Oregon in this one too, but I think Oregon, they're not as exciting as they was last year or the year before. Denty Moore has not really played well this second half of the season, really, compared to what he started out as. They almost lost to Iowa a couple weeks ago. Washington's, like you said, they've had some rough patches. They're still 8-3. I mean, a decent season for them. Obviously not as good as the season that they had a couple of years ago where they made the Natty championship game. But, I mean, this doesn't feel like a Big Ten game right here to me, does it? It's a Pac-12 game for sure right now. I got Oregon winning this one, though, and I'm with you. I think Oregon covers fairly easily because other than Denzel Boston, what does Washington really have on that team? Not much to be impressed with.
And Boston's really nothing to write home about either, but, I mean, he's the best they got.
He's the best they got, yeah. So let's get out of the top 25 real quick, Gordon, here, and let's go with the Governor's Cup. The Kentucky Wildcats travel to Louisville to face the Louisville Cardinals. Louisville is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Yes, You heard me correctly. Louisville is a home favorite in this one. Gordon, what do you think about it?
I like Kentucky in this one. I can't help it. They play Louisville tough every year, even when they have no business playing them tough. They play them tough. I don't know whether Louisville gets cocky walking into the game, but they're not that good this year. The first time I thought they was gonna do something to help me out, they absolutely get waxed, and I mean bad. And that was the game against Miami, and boy, was that a stinker. Bad. Carson Beck showed up like early season Carson Beck, not last season's Carson Beck like he was in the middle of the year. Oh my God, that was atrocious. Oh, that was horrible. So give me Kentucky. I think they're going to get the run game going. I think they want to get the bad taste out of their mouth. I mean, because boy, that was a bad taste they got last week. I mean, someone stuck their rotted foot in their mouth. That's a bad taste. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I think they'll win. Besides the Dogs, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Kentucky had a bad loss last week at Vanderbilt. Lost by 28. Nobody that I've seen is really talking about Louisville's game last week. Guess who had a worse loss than Kentucky last week? Oh, yeah, the Louisville Cardinals. They lost to SMU 38-6. Is SMU a good team? Yeah, SMU's a really good team. Vanderbilt, they're a really good team as well. Both our teams got our tails kicked last week. But guess what? Kentucky's going into Louisville. Kentucky's 5-6. Kentucky needs one win to make a bowl. Louisville didn't have Miller Moss last week. Miller Moss may not be playing this week. Isaac Brown is not playing for Louisville, and whatever their backup running back. He also isn't playing for Louisville. That hurts them a lot. I think they had like 94 passing yards or something strange like that. It was under 100 passing yards last week for Louisville. Cutter Boley is going to cut her loose this week. Yeah, we're bringing it back. Loose once again. He's going to have a big game. Seth McGowan's going to get it going. Maybe Dante Dowdell will get some yards in this game. We'll see. But you got to get him involved early. Kendrick Law, let him go. Defensive backs, they're still injured a little bit, but I think the other guys will step up and play well. Give me Kentucky to win this one, and they're going to cover because they're the leader, Jesse James. And there's my one for this episode.
Yeah, but they don't have burners like Vanderbilt does.
They've got Chris Bell, who's a really good wide receiver, but I think Hardaway can guard him. I think he can contain him. The next matchup we go back to the SEC, and we've got the LSU Tigers traveling to Norman to face the Oklahoma Sooners, number 5 in the land. Oklahoma's a 10.5-point favorite in this one. Gordon, what do you think here?
We got 2 home favorites in a row.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey.
I was so wrong last week. I thought Missouri was going to do something with Oklahoma, and boy, they didn't. They couldn't get their Hardy could not get going at all. They proved me wrong. Yep. They got a good run defense too.
Yes.
LSU has talent, but they don't have a quarterback. And let's just throw that out there. They don't.
Or a coach.
And now they don't even. Well, they didn't have a coach to begin with, and obviously they didn't have a quarterback to begin with either.
They may have a coach in Oxford though.
Yeah, they might. Give me Oklahoma, and I might say give me a cover. I think they'll cover that too.
I'm with you here. I think that they cover this spread right here. The over/under in this game's 36.5. Seems low. You think it's going over?
Yeah. I think Oklahoma will get close to 36 by themselves.
I don't know if they'll get that much because their offense is. I mean, Mateer's good, but I don't know if they've got that much firepower. But that defense, man, that defense is really good. You said they got a really good run defense, and the pass defense ain't too shabby either. They're one of the top defenses in the land. Of course, they're not the number 1 defense in the land, but really good defense, though. And LSU, that offense already struggles. So you go up against that defense, it's going to be a long day for LSU. I got Oklahoma winning. I got Oklahoma covering the spread. But give me the Sooners, and they're in the college football playoff. Who would have thought? Brent Venables 5-7 last year, 6-6 year before, whatever it was. Oklahoma ready to get him fired, and here he is going to make the college football playoff and has that defense. Like how he had the Clemson defense when he was coordinating there.
Yeah, that's what my problem was last week. I said they got a good pass defense. I was like, but Hardy runs the ball and he'll be able to run on them. I was wrong. I was way wrong.
Yeah, me too. We both were on that Missouri bandwagon last weekend.
They threw us the hell off.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner over here, I guess. The next matchup, we go stay in the SEC, a top 20 matchup. The number 14 Vanderbilt Commodores travel to Knoxville to face those low-down, dirty, snitching Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee's a 3.5-point favorite at home. Gordon, what do we think here?
I know Tennessee's got a lot of firepower, but Vandy showed us last week they do too. And I think Vandy's defense is a little better than Tennessee's. I hate calling them that. I'd rather call them, Tennessee. Yeah. That just sounds better.
It rolls off the tongue easier.
Yeah, it rolls just right off the tongue way better. And like rotten crotch. I mean Rocky Top. Give me Vanderbilt as the Road Dogs.
We go. You know, usually a team that beats Kentucky down pretty bad, I want to be like, you know what? I hope they go out there next week and I hope they get stomped. But they're facing Tennessee, and I can't pick that team right there. I would like to see Diego Pavia come out there and light up Tennessee's secondary like he did this past Saturday against Kentucky. This game right here, the over-under 65.5, yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think that it's going over for sure. This is going to be a shootout from beginning to end. There's not going to be much running in this game. They're going to be running and gunning is what they're going to be doing. They're going to be throwing the ball on the field. Aguilar versus Pavia. I'm excited to see that matchup for the fireworks that it's going to produce. But I think ultimately Vandy goes on the road, they get a win, and they still have their college football playoff hopes, dreams alive. Give me the Commodores in this one. Give me the Commodores to cover because you've already said it. So the last matchup we've got of this rivalry week, number 10, Alabama Crimson Tide goes to Auburn to face the Auburn Tigers in the Iron Bowl. Alabama's a 6.5-point favorite. Gordon, this game's usually played at 3:30. This year they've got it at 7:30. Going to be weird to see the Iron Bowl played late at night like it is. But what do you think about it? Auburn have a chance?
Well, it's being played at night probably because the team that normally plays at night ain't worth shit, and they don't want them playing at night. They don't want the night games, and, that's LSU. I mean, because they normally always play the night game this week, I think.
Usually it's on CBS.
Yeah. Does Auburn have a chance? Oh, yeah, everybody's got a chance. Sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. Dead clock's right twice a day. So, yeah, but...
Man, he'd say no chance in hell, though. But,
Oh, yeah, well, Auburn's got a chance. They got a snowball's chance in hell. I mean, I guess that's a chance, but it's not a very good one. No, if Alabama brings their A game, Auburn can bring their A game, and I think Alabama can beat them with their C game. That's just all there is to it. I mean, they can have lucky strikes, stuff like that, but Alabama's way better than that. So, and I just flat out think that their quarterback's going to tear that secondary apart. I mean, Jam Miller's a good running back, and they got good receivers, and they're just going to get lit up. Give me Alabama and give me a cover, and probably a convincing cover, even though it's the Iron Bowl and stupid things happen. We've seen it. I watched the kick six, and boy, that was so exciting. I loved it. It was great. It won me a little bet against a guy that we used to work with. But anyways, give me Alabama and give me a cover. I believe they'll cover that quite easily.
Alabama, you said when they're on pretty good, but the last 6 of the 7 weeks they've been in some tough games. Aside from Eastern Illinois, they haven't had a real convincing win since the Tennessee game back in the third Saturday in October. They played some tight games, played it really close, lost to Oklahoma in that stretch. Auburn, they fired Hugh Freeze earlier in the season. They're 5-6. They have a shot to go to a bowl game. Facing their rival, what better way than to go out and beat your rival to go to a bowl game and knock them out of the college football playoff? A lot of implications in this. If Alabama does somehow fall to Auburn in this, and Auburn, what better way to play spoiler than to get them out of the playoff and to get you into a bowl game heading into your offseason to try to build a little bit of momentum? But Gordon, I cannot pick against Alabama. You know this. So I'm going to roll Tide, and I think that they cover the spread. Give me the Tide.
Yeah, I think I got that. Didn't I pick Oklahoma to beat Alabama too?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. But, that's it for our picks here on Rivalry Week. Gordon, you got anything else you want to add here before we shut her down on this podcast?
No, there's a couple things I'm going to bring up on the next one. I want to brag about my fantasy lineup last week.
I don't even want to talk about my fantasy team right now. I'm 5-7 and in 8th place out of 10 because stupid Lamar Jackson isn't doing Lamar Jackson stuff this year. So I'm just.
I'll tell you who my lineup was if you want to hear it.
Well, yeah, we'll probably wrap this one up here.
All right.
Then we'll go on it. But, it should be a good week this week coming up of football, rivalry week. We got games Thursday NFL, you've got Friday NFL and college, and then you got all day college on Saturday, NFL Sunday, of course NFL Monday. And we'll be back here next week, Gordon, and we'll be previewing conference championships. And hopefully both of our teams are in a bowl. I mean, yours is going to be, but maybe mine will be too. We'll see. Let's hope and see.
Hopefully
Yeah.
mine's in the championship game.
And we'll catch you all next week.
See you later.